Rocco, you're good to go. I'm gonna shut up and let you have a great interview.
Thank you. Okay, welcome to Grue, and thank you all so much for taking time and coming on the show.
Thank you for
Cool.
being
Thanks for
here.
having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So the first question I want to ask is actually going out to John. Like, what inspired you to want to write and make both films?
I guess for the first one, I always was always very interested in the Cape Malay community and Cape Town, especially because the music was so significant and it had such a specific style. No one else was playing music or making music like that in the country. And you know, it's a beautiful culture. It has all like a very distinct look and feel, and yet there were so few films made about the community, and also there's so much so steeped in history and slavery, and the fact that that community wasn't allowed to celebrate the 1st of January. They had to celebrate on the 2nd of January because on the 1st of January they had to look after their white, clean up after their white masters, you know, which is just so shocking in itself, but and such a tragedy that it was always just a story that we really needed to tell. And then on top of that, during apartheid, District 6, which was a community, a very mixed community of different races, that was pulled down by the apartheid government because they hated it. They saw that as completely counter to what they wanted. They wanted to separate the races. And a place like District 6 was a mixing of the races. And so they bulldozed the entire community. And there was another community, in Boer Kaap, which is translated to the top of the Cape in Afrikaans. In English it says Boers on top. And they survived in the hills up in the hills because they destroyed District 6 and they were going to move to Boer Kaap and destroy that. But over time into the 80s, District 6 was such a disaster. It's still such like an ugly scar in Cape Town because nothing's been developed there. And fortunately, they left the Boer Kaap alone. And they didn't tear it down. So it still exists in all its beauty. And I thought it would be beautiful to set the first film about the minstrels and the second film more about the community in Boer Kaap. And so that was it. And then I just took two genres, two very genres that the audience really love around the world. It's one of my favorite genres, the heist genre. And then obviously into Papillon. I love Papillon. I love prison films. You know, so then wanted to do a second film. So two different genres, but that's kind of the reason. Take this beautiful community and do two genre films. Well, I thought it was going to be one. Luckily, we did two. Now I'm going to come up with another genre if we're going to do three. Horror.
Right, exactly. And for our great cast for the film, my next question goes out to you both. How did you both wind up being part of the great film?
Oh wow, that's actually quite a story because for the first film, a bunch of us, I know myself, Keenan, who plays Mortimer, and Jacques, who's the lead as Jerome, we were attached to the first film a few years before we started production. John and a small team had, I think 10 years prior, 11 years prior, shot the intro scene or shot a bit of you know, the concept of the film. And Keenan was a part of that back then already. So he's been attached to the script for a long time. And then myself, I was attached 3 years prior to the shooting the first film. So, you know, John really like handpicked his cast and knew who he wanted to be involved from way before day one of production. And the journey from like finding out about it and reading the script and being excited to do it to then eventually starting the first film and then eventually going on to do another one, a sequel. And, you know, being a part of that journey has just been so incredible. And I just feel so blessed that I was able to be a part of this team because it's such a special team and community.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years in the making, eh, John? And then shoot the first film and the second film in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wasn't part of the call those 10 years. I was still probably growing up still, but I think I shot Atlantis, which was my first time starring in a film, and I think John saw that somewhere. And then I guess he wanted me for this movie, but he asked me, I think my agent asked me to send it. I was too sick, and so I lazily said, I'm not going to send a self-tape. No, just tell them no. And they they kept calling, and they were like, but they really want to see you for this role, and can't you just somehow make it work? And so I ended up shooting with one of my friends in her flat. She's not an actor. She read for me. Her cat was in the shoot. I shot that thing, and just cats everywhere. And she's a model. She doesn't really act, but we got the self-tape. It was my worst self-tape. I really didn't like my acting at all. But John was like, "You're hired. You got the role." So yeah, that was I'm so glad I did, though, because it was one of the best movies I've shot. It's best experiences ever.
We needed you.
Really,
You were
really
like the
great
perfect
cast.
slot-in. We needed you.
Yeah, I needed
Exactly.
hunger. We waited 10 years to have these guys. Serious. It was like, it was amazing.
Okay. Wow, so much patience.
Well, I'd seen Shamilla act in a lot of things, and about 4 years before we shot the film, we did a workshop together, and I said to Shamilla, I'd love her to have a look at the lead. And then we didn't have a male lead, so I had Shamilla was Keenan, who plays Mortimer. He was in the film for like 10 years prior, and then definitely we had Shamilla, and I said, we got a female lead, we're going ahead. And there's all like drama with her schedule at some stage. And I said, well, we're not going forward with this film. I had a huge fight with the producers because we had to base stuff around Shamilla, and then we got Jacques, and then I was even more excited. Then Mortimer, and then Keenan, and then Bronte all came together, and that's when we were like, they wanted to shift us out for 3 months. And I thought, if I lose any one of these four, like, we're not shooting this film. So I threw my toys and had a little tantrum like directors do. And I told them, absolutely not, we're shooting on this time, because we honestly, when I had these, like, this cast was just, I knew we could make something amazing. And we're so lucky. Like, 2 films later, we've done 2 films together. So it's honestly pretty cool. Yeah, very lucky.
And John, like another question for you is was like the whole entire film and shot in Cape Town, and was that like a real prison you shot at?
Well, Robben Island, yeah, we can honestly see Robben Island just out here in the bay, in False Bay. And it was part of the prison that Nelson Mandela and the ANC were sent to. We wanted to shoot on the island in the prison, but we unfortunately couldn't get that done. So we had to recreate the entire prison, and we had to shoot in locations all over Cape Town to try and make it look like the island, which is kind of tricky. We got very lucky that we had a fantastic drone day after we shot the film. We went out on 2 boats, shot some great drone footage going over onto Robben Island, and then matched that with the guys walking into a prison that we created, a prison about 2 hours up the west coast of Cape Town. We shot our prisoners going into Robben Island. Art department did a beautiful job of creating Robben Island. And then the drone shots helped us to sell the fact that the boat was heading towards the island. And then every time there was a scene at night, the drone shot would track over wide enough onto the island to see that there were no people actually in the prison. But it's a whole mishmash of like different, I would say there's like 5 or 6 different locations to make up the prison, and a great drone day that tied in the island to Cape Town. So it was all over the place, but the editors held it together beautifully. Yeah, it's very cool.
Wow. Okay. And for the cast again, like, what was it fun being on set for this and shooting the film and doing all the action scenes and stuff?
Absolutely. Like, coming in and just also as women taking more of a central role in like the leadership role, you know, it compared to the first one where it was Jacques' character who was the leader, and he was, you know, getting all the teams together, or getting the team together, and you know, planning this heist. In this film, Keisha takes on that role, and you know, she's getting the team together, and she's leading this team for this prison break. And then just as women in that role, in that like control role, was so much fun to play, because I think it's an important story. I think I mean, Bronte and I, we come from we're very strong women, come from very strong backgrounds. You know, we've got that Cape Malay background, and that's what women in that, you know, community would do. So we just stepped up just as they would. But it was so much fun to play with. And then just on the action side, like, we were so excited to do our own stunts, to you know, we ran around, we were scuba diving, we were doing all of we were breaking into caves and climbing through bunkers and running from people. Like, it was so much fun to shoot.
Nice.
I think Shamilla and I are very similar in that regard. We actually really love doing our own stunts, and we love adventure. So that was really fun. But there was this one day I remember when we were running up the stairs, Shamilla, in Simonstown, and we were just doing, like, this was a day of stunts.
Yeah.
And we were shooting this one scene. We were running up the stairs to get to the guard tower. And I remember John was saying, guys, we got the shot. That was beautiful. But if you want to do it again, you can do it again. And I was just like, okay, cool. And Shamilla was like, yeah, let's do it again. I was like, hey, no, not again. Because we'd run up like 10, 20 times, it felt like it. But she was like, yes, let's do another one for fun.
Yeah. But also on that day, it was like there was that one shot where it's like we're running into shot and we're pausing, and we're like, okay, cool, we're there, blah blah blah. We're like trying to like sort out the plan, but the shot is from here to here, and you don't see the running up the stairs part. And I was like,
right.
Bronte and John, I was like, we actually have to run up the stairs because we have to have the momentum and like the out of breathness. We have to come into the scene from there. Yes. And so we had to have like a pre-action and then a real action of when we ran into shot, because I was like, every single time we need to run in with the same like vigor and out of breathness and, you know, the same action. And yeah, we ran up those stairs a lot of times, but I feel like you got to get the momentum.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get it, yeah. You know, Shamilla Miller, she's a professional, eh? She's really a professional. Got to do the whole thing.
Method.
But it was so fun.
Yeah.
Method. Those specific scenes that we shot at the prison, it was shot in Simonstown. It was just so much fun, man, because we were in like black gear. It was like really, you know, we were G.I. Jane. I felt like Angelina Jolie, you know. I really felt so badass. It was awesome. We loved doing the stunts and the action scenes.
Yeah, we had a day when we were out in the water and the guys got sick, but also we had for the girls. I think our toughest day on set was that day when we were climbing through the bunkers, because the bunkers are in Simonstown. They were set up on the land in Cape Town, obviously with heavy guns during the Second World War to fire on the Germans like they were going to, you know, like they were coming to Cape Town. You know what I mean? There was these massively fortified bunkers, and so they're old. It's the 1940s, so you know, so it's like 80 years old, you know. And Shamilla went up through this tower, right? And she was climbing through this tower, and as she was climbing through, the handles that she was on, the wood that was in between the handles all kind of disintegrated where she was standing, and underneath was Bronte was underneath, and she got all this like stuff in her eyes, and she couldn't, in her eyes, she like climbed off, and I was like, oh my God, what's happened? Because we could hear all the stuff falling through. So we're filming it, and all this wood is falling through, and it's smacking Mila in the face. Oh, no. So I was stressed. I thought, Bronte, I was worried that day. Your eyes, it was bad. Huh?
You know, that day was a little challenging I mean, we were super keen, but having dust and old muck coming out from a bunker that's been there for almost 100 years, it wasn't fun, the thoughts of what's falling on you. Also, I just don't do spiders. So like, you can give me
the
sharks,
spiders-
you can give me
spiders
scuba
got me.
diving, you can give me all of those things, but the spiders, and I just had a freak out there. So John was like, okay, we're stopping this. I think we got the shot.
Yeah, I was worried about you.
Yeah. And
Well, yeah, there were those days too.
so what do you all love most about making the film and being part of it, shooting the film and showing the whole world what kind of film this is, like an amazing action film?
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of it. You know, you do an action film, and you hope that you can pull it off and show the world in a way that, like, you know, we watch action films all the time from the States and all over the world, and we have these, and yet here in South Africa we have all the same landscapes, we have the same issues, we have the same things that community are trying to fight for, the independence or for freedom, and you know they've got to go through all these crazy things to achieve that. So yeah, we just, every day was a challenge, and I think that every film, like from the first film to the second film, we really challenged ourselves, and the cinematographer kept turning to me and saying, like, we've got more money, we've got more time, all the characters are established. Why is this so hard? Because we were making this really difficult action film of busting guys out of a prison. So it was so much fun, such a challenge, but it was cool. Kept us on our toes, made us exhausted, but kept us interested.
Definitely kept us on our toes.
It was, yeah, it was quite ambitious. But I must say, you know, the South African film industry has like really amazing crew. Like they done, you put it in the script, and you know, people, the different departments, they will find a way to pull it together. And they'll squeeze what they can out of the budget that we have and the time constraints. So, and a lot of the actors are just like, yeah, we can do this. Okay, let's do it. You know, like it's just a can-do attitude. So that's what made it happen, you know, and I can't wait to see it. I hear it looks amazing.
Nice. And what did you love most about, like, the film and shooting the film and all that stuff?
Right. My favorite thing was, you know what, we built up such a rapport in the first film, and we really became such a tight family that showing up to work every day and shooting with this particular team was just such a pleasure. You know, a lot of the same crew made it back the second time around. We had a few different elements, but for the most part, it was the same crew, and especially with the three other leads, with Shimmy added into the mix, and like honestly, every single day coming to work and working with this team was fun, and you know, going home and traveling, like literally just spending time with these people and with the crew. That was my favorite thing about the film, and I think that closeness and friendship and chemistry adds layers to the characters, to the film, and you can see it on screen, I'm sure. You could see it in the first film, so I'm sure it still translates in the second one, and I'm excited to see it. We haven't seen Bronte and I haven't seen the film yet, but I know that like that sometimes chemistry, like I feel like the chemistry on this team translates the most, more than any other job that I've ever done. And yeah, that was my favorite thing about the film. It's working with the team.
Actually, thank you for reminding me, Shamilla. So I should also mention that because we've done the sequel, is we were so lucky that all the new actors that we brought in were actually brilliant. If you look at Shimmy Isaacs, her coming in, Kurt Schoonrod, who played the warden, Sivan Gezi, who plays Gubi, Tony Miyambo, who plays the ANC Kader guy. I mean, they're just all, it's like testament to our actors and that environment, because it was like seamless. All those new actors just fitted in so beautifully and seamlessly to the film. So yeah, it's actually amazing to have that just work that they all fitted in. It was really cool.
Nice. And like the next question I have is nothing to do with the film. It's like, what kind of music do you all like? Like, what's on your playlist?
I don't listen to heavy metal, and I think that's the only thing I don't listen to.
Okay.
I've got quite an eclectic taste.
Right. Oh my gosh. I don't either. It's not my vibe. But I do like a lot of different things.
I'm like a hip hop, a house, and an indie pop girl.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Definitely an indie girl. I was listening to, I think, Pale Impala. Yeah, that's yes. The less I know, the better. That one I'm playing a lot. Yeah, but Shamilla, John, my fiance, he likes heavy metal, and I don't know why, but I guess opposites attract. So
wow,
yeah,
road trips must be so fun with the two of you.
So fun, especially his gym playlist. That's all he listens to. I'm like, how did this happen?
John, what do you listen to?
Well, I'm so old. Shamilla, that I have like. It's so far ranging. Like I've got Bob Marley, I've got Miles Davis, I've got John Coltrane, I've got like Fela Kuti, I've got Drake, I've got 50 Cent. It's like a
John
whole
is just the coolest guy.
He really is.
And he's just such a great dancer.
I didn't know that.
I love to. I've only got one move. Yeah. They just take me the mickey. I have one move that I just do certain times. The more drunk I get, it just changes. My head just wobbles more. That's my
I think we have at least one dog on set every time, because there's a lot of vibes on set. But John always makes it fun. He's at one moment. Like, I don't know how it was shooting the choir scenes, but he loves having the minstrel bands and the music of the buka and the minstrel. So when they're on set, then he's jamming with him, always.
Yes. I love it because we have these great musicians on set, and I love it when something, like most directors, most days you don't want things to go wrong, but I love it when something goes wrong. There's a light that needs fixing. Because then we just look at the band, and the band strike up and they play. And then for like about 5 minutes, we sing, we dance, and everyone forgets like there's drama on set, and then it's beautiful. It's great to have that band on set.
And like, if you three had a choice of a karaoke song, what would your go-to song be?
Oh,
I've got two. I've got "We'll Be There" from the Spice Girls, and "Lose Yourself" from Eminem.
Oh my God, yeah,
that's such a cool.
I'm so badass at the rap. Like that'll be my number one. That's like when I'm really showing off. I'm just like, "Lose Yourself," Eminem.
I can dig that. Rapping could be cool.
Mine would be "Rappers Delight." I would do "Rappers Delight." You might. Rocker, you might remember that from the 80s. It's like the first rap song. I would do "Rapper's Delight" and something from the Blues Brothers. Something from Jake and Elwood Blues. I would do something with Blues Brothers. But our karaoke would be so bad. I can't sing for shit. It would be a disaster.
You're not supposed to be able to sing at karaoke. That's the point.
I'm so bad that even if I'm drunk, right? I'm so bad that even if I'm drunk, I'm still embarrassed. That's how bad I am.
Oh man. Bronte, what's yours?
Sorry, I didn't say. I lost sound for a sec, but I think I'd have to go with Janet Jackson. Not Janet Jackson. Sorry, Whitney Houston. I don't know how I messed that up in my head. But you have to sing a Whitney song,
Yeah. I
then
wouldn't
if
have
I
the
had to
guts, so
rap-
that's well done.
Yeah, no, the range. It's about the range for me. The range I believe I have. Okay. It's not that you have it, obviously not. Anyway, and then I'd rap today was a good day, Ice Cube, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh
Nice.
yeah. Absolutely.
Yes, yeah. 90s rap, come on.
Nice.
All right. There you go. I like that. And I know you all are very busy with the press day, so I'm just gonna ask is where can fans follow you all at?
I am on Instagram and my handle is Shamilla Miller, Shamilla.Miller. And that's the only social media platform I have actually.
Well, I'm on Instagram, John Barker 183. I think on Instagram. I think I'm John
Okay.
Barker 183.
Yes, you
That's
are.
also only really. Am I? Okay, thank you. Only really interested in Instagram. Kids, my kids say, "Don't say Facebook, Dad." Jesus, you're so old. My God.
Shame, there is a place for Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram at Bronte Snell. And yeah, maybe you'll catch me posting something.
Okay. Well, I want to thank all three of you for taking time out and doing the show, and everyone. I can't wait for them to see your new film. And any idea when the film is coming out?
Yeah, we've got the premiere now in Toronto next weekend, and then we're going to have a premiere, local premieres, Cape Town and Johannesburg, I think end of September, early October. Yeah, so release towards the end of the year.
Okay. Well, again, thank you all for doing this show, and it was really nice meeting the three of you.
Cool. Sorry, I should say. Sorry, Rocco. I've got to jump in, but EVOD have been absolutely amazing, and so have Amazon Studios, Amazon Prime, because they gave us the budget. So I just want to say that we will definitely screen in cinema, but we'll also stream with EVOD and Amazon. So that'll I think it'll be towards the end of the year that people can catch us there. So
awesome.
Thanks, Rocco.
Thank
Yeah.